Hey, it's Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and this is Wednesday, April the 10th. This will be our chart lesson for today. And boy, what a trading day it's been. This is as good a trend as you're going to get. A real tight channel all the way up. We're really finally kind of getting a break here and maybe heading to a new high. There's really another entry right here. If you were still trading, you probably would have wanted to take this entry right here. It's a little iffy since it closed in that doji, but my guess is we're going to make a new high here, and this will end up, because this is a failed second entry short that turned into a second entry long, so it's kind of a trap to the short side. So I'll be shocked if this doesn't go higher. It may pull back first. We'll just have to see what happens, but I was already done trading, but this one just set up as I was getting ready to do the lesson, and likely I would have entered right there. I just can't see this going much lower. We might come back down and test this low again, but I'm guessing they're probably going to take this on up. We'll just see how it works out before the lesson's over. But and these were all great setups. If you found this trend line, all you had to do was enter every time it touched it, and it was easy money. It really was that simple today. And these are the kind of days that you live for and you hope you see a lot of them. And notice there's no, even though there's some short setups here, there's no counter trend trades. It's not worth counter trend trading this, a day like this. You're better off to be buying and hanging on. So, and that's following our rules. But let's talk about each trade. The first couple down here might have been a little more tricky than the rest. This circle really should be right there. But we opened we traded up into this. It's kind of a trading range looking here by the time I was ready to trade. The first real setup I liked, I didn't like this long at all here, and you see it didn't go very far. You had to go long above this very bearish bar, and then you're really close to the highs. So I tried to get long on a lemon order, but it didn't come back until here. And then it's looking really bearish, but I don't like a short here either. So I just sat tight, and when we broke below this support area right here and got that big reversal bar, there was the first long that I liked. And really I probably should make this one green, because I always try to tell people, especially inexperienced traders, you're probably better off to wait on the second entry. But it's such a good setup. It's a great trap, and it's and you can see generally those first entries are the ones that really, it was easy scalp, but it didn't get a runner out of that one. But you get a chance to get in on the second entry here. You still got plenty of room before the highs, and another easy scalp, but no. Again, no runners on that. And there really was another entry here, but you probably wouldn't have had this. You wouldn't have had the trend line yet, but it's a failed second entry short, and should have had it circled. It's a little bit questionable because of all the overlap, but it failed out the bottom. It's a two-legged pullback to the EMA. It's not the prettiest one you'll see, but you can't deny what it is. It's a two-legged pullback to the EMA. It's a failed second entry short, which is what really makes it a good trade. It's close to the highs, so I tell you what I'm going to do. I'm going to change it to green, because it's just a kind of an aggressive entry, but it meets all our criteria for a nice short trap. And you see how well it burst higher, and that's because they had people trapped to the short side. They trapped a lot of people here, but they probably got a lot more on that second entry short off these highs right across here, because really there's kind of a high across here, and I probably should have that on there. A lot of times I'll take this stuff off as the trading day progresses, because you don't want your charts to get so cluttered up that you can't see anything. And you'll see this was a perfect pull back to retest, two-legged pull back to the EMA, test of the previous support. That's as good, and you should have had this trend line here, and if you just copy it and drag it down, you might have started with it right here. It still works perfectly right there. That's where I started with it at, thinking it was there, but as the day went on, I believe it's right up through there. So that's how I found the trend line, by finding it off those highs and dragging it down. And so you had a perfect bounce right there on that second entry. What I did, when you went lower first and then turned up, there's a little trap right there. And so when you went below here and then turned back up, you just go long on a stop order right there. Easy scalp. And guess what? This time any runners were safe. And look what we got here. It's kind of a repeat pattern. It's a failed second entry short. It's another two-legged pull back to the EMA. It kind of looks like this pattern. And off it goes again. And no runners this time. It got just enough to scalp out, and then it came back. So you probably didn't get a runner there. But then you got a chance to enter again here. I didn't like this setup bar as much. Why can I not grab that? But since it bounced off the trend line, you could have gone long right here. It's a first entry, so you're always better off to wait on a second entry. Even if you entered here, it still worked. You had to ride this out, but the better entry was right here. Easy scalp, and again, no runner on that one, but you got a runner off this one, and this is just a breakout pull back long with another bounce off the trend line, the EMA. Off it goes. Still going higher. Look at this thing go, and runners were safe on that one. Then we pull back, and guess what? We get that little trap right there again. It's a failed second entry short. It turns into a second entry long right there, and off it goes up again, then comes off the high side, back down. Another entry right here. It just keeps going higher. Another entry right here, and then back to this entry right here. They're still trying to work higher. Excuse me. We're running into some resistance here. I still think this is likely to go higher, but with two dojis in a row, I probably would exit this trade right here just to be safe. It's been such a good day. Why risk any profits this late in the day? Since this one didn't take on off, I would have exited that one. But nice trading day. Again, this one, it ticked lower first and then went higher. It was kind of like the one, where was that one earlier? Or was that the one I just talked about? Oh, there was another one right here. So it's kind of that pattern again that repeats. It breaks lower first and then goes higher, and so you go long out that top. It got just enough for a scalp, no runners, and you see this is trying to pull back. So, like I said, I would have probably exited that trade with a tick or a break even. You could have easily got a tick out of that when you got this second doji here. We may go ahead and make that little trap right there by ticking lower and then going higher. And so it may be worth hanging on to that one if you're in it. But by the time you see this video, it'll probably be over. But I would have exited that one. I definitely would have entered long there, but I'm thinking I would have exited it just because you get two dojis in a row. You're getting a lot of resistance. And notice how we didn't quite get back to the upper side of the trend line these last couple of moves. So it shows you that the trend is, the buying is waning a little bit. And we don't have a new high yet. I'd be shocked if we don't get a new high, but I wouldn't be surprised if they don't trap people and then start running it higher again. So really not much else you can say about today. That's about as easy as it gets. It might have taken you up into here to find the trend line, but even so, there's still plenty of trades. Even if you started right there, you still should have had that trend line, and you would have known to probably adjust it. But by the time you got all this, you should have definitely had it up here. And it really probably comes off of that move right there, and you can see that working all the way up, and we kind of got a little break here. But I got my trend line started off of these highs, because the original one, if you were doing down here, you see it's like that, and it's too steep to, just doesn't look right. Didn't last very long. You got the break, but I believe that's the channel. This is like a spiking channel is all it is, and there's always a chance that we'll make another. You see, you can actually get that trend line right there too. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't pull back to right here and then go higher. But it's been holding right through there all day for the most part. So I don't think we're done to the upside yet, but we'll see. Like I said, there's no sense in risking any profits in there on that entry if it's not going like you expect, because they're probably going to pull back here and trap some people, and we may end up finding out that there's a bigger channel down here or right across there or something, and so we may pull back and test that lower part of it. That's probably like what I would call a median line up there. It's kind of the center. Let's just measure that and see what we get. So let's get our distance right there. That looks like it. We move it down to right here. Copy it. Paste a new one and pull it down. And yeah, I don't know. That's where I would, if it does start falling, that's where I'd look for my next bounce, about that spot right there. But it wouldn't surprise me at all if we don't really have if we don't bounce off of that or that coming back. But we haven't even got that far yet. We may continue just to go on higher from right here. So that's just thinking ahead, looking for possible places that you might find reversal. But I'd definitely pay attention to this support. We noticed that really the resistance was more right across there, and we haven't got back to that line yet. Really, we found a double bottom here, but that's because of the support of the trend line. So it wouldn't surprise me if we don't come back to test that breakout area there, just like we have every other time almost. Every time we broke higher, we generally came back. So we'll see how it goes, but I'm going to wrap it up. This is just going to be a short one today. I hope you had a good trading day, because it really has been an excellent trading day. And it just doesn't, I mean, these are the kind of days you live for. You buy and you just hang on. And really there's, you don't even have to exit these trades. You just hang on until you get at least until you get a big overshoot. But you probably hang on until you get a trend line break, or you go into something really choppy like that right there. So, you could have bought any of these and just held on. And of course, you don't know that probably down in here. But once you're moving like this, just hang on. Don't even exit your trades unless you get the overshoot. And even then, you see we still went higher. So, you hate to give up those trades. I'll be honest with you. Every time we touch this line here and push through it, that's where I exit. And on these, I just exited when we went into this choppy mess right here. But I'm going to wrap it up. This will be a quick one today. Hope you're having a good trading day. And if you're not today, then you got some work to do, because even if you couldn't find the trend line, all you had to do was use the EMA. That's simple all day long. And you see we're still trying to push higher over here. And, I mean, very rarely does a failed second entry short trap fail with the trend on a strong day like this. There's just a lot of resistance they're having to work through here. So we'll see what happens. But, again, I'm going to wrap it up and call it a day. We'll see you tomorrow. This is Mac with PriceActionTradingSystem.com, and we'll do it again next time.